If you want to manifest anything or everything in this lifetime, you need to be comfortable being and expressing yourself all the freaking time, because that's the only way to get there. Let me explain. What's the reason behind you being comfortable expressing yourself and all of that and being yourself to that leading to your manifestation? When you want to manifest something, it's because you have a vision for yourself. There's something, maybe like a house, a partner or something, that your higher self is telling you like this is possible for you. This is like the best outcome. This is something that you really, really want. And the things that you usually want, if they come from a place of your higher self, not from your ego, obviously there's differences when they come from different places, but most of the times, if you really, really, really want something, or if you really feel like something is meant for you, it comes from your higher self. What does that mean? It means that is kind of like, it means that thing that you really, really want is something that your soul kind of craves. If your soul really craves something, and if it means that it's meant for you, it's not meant for the version of you that you might be right now if you're not fully comfortable expressing yourself, if you're a people pleaser, if you're always thinking about other people's needs. It's for the version of you, like the higher self version of you, if that makes sense, which means it's a version of you that believes in themselves, is confident, doesn't care about what anyone thinks of them. In order to get here where your manifestation is, you need to let go of all the layers that don't allow you to be yourself, to be here, and to be aligned with your manifestation. Being yourself is, I feel like, the most true form of alignment that there is, to just like get everything instantly. This is like a personal example that I had last week that just made me I kind of already knew this, but last week something happened that made me realize this even more. For a long time, I felt bad for being kind of like, I don't want to call myself a snob, but like for me liking Apple products, okay? This is like the most random thing ever, but just to set an example. I felt like a snob for liking Apple products because I was like, well, Apple is like shit, they are so overpriced, and this and this and that. And for the past year, I've been wanting an iPad and like an Apple Pen to get my Procreate and like paint things and just get better at drawing, because I'm not really good at it, but every time I drew on my boyfriend's iPad, I felt like I did it better, and just the whole surface of Apple is really nice. And I've tried other tablets from like Xiaomi or like Chinese brands or whatever, which are cheaper and I could have afforded before. And there was this part of me that was like, no, you shouldn't want Apple. You should maybe get a cheaper one. You shouldn't want these like overpriced things because like they do bad things to people. They do this, they do that. You shouldn't want this. This is a very stupid example, but to show you that I was limiting myself there. I was telling myself like, you should not want this. Even though something in me was like, I really want an iPad. Like, I might not want an iPhone, I might not want a MacBook Pro, but an iPad was like my absolute dream. Something in me has always been like, I really want an iPad. And then a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I want to buy an iPad. I don't care if people tell me I'm a snob. I don't care if people tell me like I'm that girl who gets an iPad. I don't care, because like that's something that I really want. I kind of told myself and admitted to myself like, I really want an iPad and I don't care. Like, I just really want an iPad. And then a few days later, I remember waking up this one day and thinking, okay, how much money do I need for an iPad? And I kind of calculated the iPad, the Apple Pen, insurance, whatever. And I was like, okay, this is like around $800. And I was like, okay, I need to manifest $800 for the iPad. And then I just went on with my day. I kid you not. 3 hours later, I'm gonna put a screenshot on here too. I get this message from a guy on Fiverr, because I'm on Fiverr doing like freelance work, like videos for companies and text and whatever. This guy asking me that they needed someone to make TikTok videos for them and a few other things, and their budget was exactly $800. And when I saw that message, I was like, I'm not gonna get this job. Like, it's impossible. Like, it's not possible that it was so easy, you know, to just like get this thing. And I talked to him, I sent him like a brief, whatever, and he was like, yeah, sure, we're hiring you, you're getting your first payment today. And obviously, even though I just have the first half of the payment, I know that I'm getting the second part. I have my iPad already and I'm so freaking happy. But I haven't manifested, for example, money recently until this, where it happened so freaking fast that I did something and I got the money back. Or for example, like a few weeks ago, I went on a trip to Berlin. And I haven't traveled for like the past 2 years because after the whole COVID thing happened, I never really wanted to plan trips because they ended up getting cancelled sometimes, or like the restrictions were weird and the things were changing all the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna travel whenever I feel it's right. But I love traveling. I like traveling. Maybe it's my Sag rising, I don't know, but traveling is something that fills my soul and it makes me feel so good about myself, even if I don't do as many things on a trip. I just feel like I need to get out and explore the world and be in different places. I don't know how to explain it, but there's always like this calling in my soul of like, you need to leave, you need to like go to places and discover new places and whatever. And I hadn't traveled lately because I was like, even though I was making money, I moved back into my parents' house and I was like, well, I need to save up money, I need to do this and this and that. And I kind of didn't allow myself to spend money, even though the trip to Berlin was like $50. And I was staying as at a friend's house, so it was like a cheap trip. But I was not allowing myself to buy myself the $50 flight, which is like, Ada, you really want to travel, you have a friend there, you have like a free house to stay in, like what's the problem? I was like, just spend the money, and you also have like a lot of savings, so just go there, enjoy yourself for a week and whatever. So I bought the ticket, went to Berlin. I enjoyed the fuck out of myself. Like I bought myself a new coat, I bought myself new earrings because I haven't bought myself like stuff in like forever. In the middle of the week, I might have spent like maybe $100 more or less, you know, with like eating out, whatever. It wasn't that much. I get another order from like this other platform I'm in saying like, oh, I need a video for this and that, we're gonna pay you $200. Which basically covered my whole trip at the end of the day. And I just did a video that took me like, I don't know, half an hour to make. And when I came back, I even got like more things coming. So it's like, I feel like every time that I have went in the direction of being myself and doing things that come from some place in here that I don't fully understand, the universe has supported me. It only happens in those moments. Whenever I might have like moments in my life where I feel like I want to manifest things and they don't happen, I also know that timing might be a thing, obviously, but I also have realized that it's in the moments where I am not being myself. I'm not being true to myself. I'm like people pleasing a bit too hard. I am trying to make everyone happy and I'm not making myself happy. But the moment I become a bit more selfish and I'm like, okay, instead of spending money on everyone else, why don't I spend money on me? Instead of like trying to be this like watered down version of myself, why don't I try to like express myself and just be who the fuck I am? And I feel like this is the kind of thing that obviously scares a lot of us, and I'm gonna do another video on like how to not care about what people think of you, because I feel like I've gotten to that point in life, or I got to that point in life a while ago, and I want to talk about it too. But I used to be so afraid of being myself that at the end I was just like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna try to be myself because I just want to be liked, I just want to be likable, I just want to, I don't know, maybe grow a following on social media, whatever. And I feel like me opening my first account on Instagram was probably the most toxic thing that I did for myself, because I opened that account to hold myself accountable for like my fitness and yoga journey. But then the moment I started growing and people started following me, being like, oh my god, we really like your content, I was like, whoa, now I need to kind of like be this version of myself that's like perfect and that people cannot hate or unfollow, whatever. That did definitely not help me, because I remember there was this one time, for example, I went vegan for a while, a lot of vegans started following me, and I stopped being vegan after that, and I posted a few pictures of like jamon serrano here in Spain, and I think I got like, I don't know how many unfollows in that one day. But I remember that the moment I posted that, knowing that people would get upset, I was like, who cares? Like, this is something that you enjoy doing, and this is your journey of like, you're vegan now and maybe you're not vegan next month and then you're vegan again, because that's who I am. I will go into like phases of doing things, and if something feels good, I will do it, and if it doesn't. And it's not a problem if you're constantly changing and constantly discovering yourself, because I feel like if you're teens or 20s or 30s, it's kind of a time where you're still kind of figuring out who you are. And especially if you're someone like me who went through abuse, who went through strict parents not allowing them to be who they are, we are still kind of like figuring out who we are, that we deserve to have a voice, that we deserve to be loud, that we deserve to speak up and express ourselves. Because that's something that I kind of already did that before, but something happened at some point where I just decided to water myself down and just not be myself. But especially I realized that lately, that every time that I made a decision that was kind of like in the direction of like me being selfish, and selfish in a good way, in a healthy selfishness, I mean, not trying to hurt anyone obviously, but just like being like doing something just for me, made me like, it just like all these things happened afterwards that were kind of like, I think, correlated to this thing. So that's why I feel like manifesting goes really hand in hand with that, because it's like you want to manifest all these things, and you want these things because these things are meant for you, the version of you that's like this big, as I talked in like my previous video. What I said in my other videos, like you usually are this small version of yourself, and this is the potential that you have, and you occupy this little space when you could be occupying this space, and your manifestations are usually once you occupy that bigger space. Okay, so be more selfish, stop people pleasing. If you want more videos on like any of these topics specifically, let me know in the comments, because I will be more than happy to make them. And I hope you liked this one. Give me a thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.